All right, folks. I am sure we'll have a few more people trickle in throughout the workout today, but today's going to be fun. Like Lauren said, my name is Jeff Palmer. I am the fitness manager at the IMA on campus. It's been just over a year actually, which has been weird. It's weird. It's been the longest, fastest year ever. I feel like I just moved to Washington and then I feel like I've lived here my entire life. But my job here is I oversee all of the fitness programming. So group fitness and then personal training. And then we've also, as of 2 weeks ago, we started a new nutrition program where anybody can have a one-on-one session with our registered dietitian. So, and lots of more things to come. I'm working on a massage program. I got lots of cool stuff coming. But I'm happy to be here, happy to help. One of the main things that I've wanted to do since I started here is community outreach and getting across campus more and getting faculty and staff involved as much as possible. Been a little hard considering I really only had 2 full months here. So I think this is a really good jump off point to get that happening. But I'll stop talking. But today's workout, I've designed this so it's going to be beginner friendly. And like I was saying to Lauren earlier, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It's just something that anybody can do, any level can do, and you can modify it as needed, right? So for example, when I say we're going to do push-ups, well, there's a lot of push-up variations. You can drop to your knees, absolutely. Or you can go into a one-hand push-up, which I don't know anyone that can do that, but maybe you can, I don't know. So that's what we're going for. We're going to hit a little bit of everything. The timing I've got today, depends, 15 to 20, see how we're doing, different exercises. And all of them are going to be at 45 seconds. So you don't need to worry about reps. You don't need to worry about anything like that. You just have to worry about me, even though I have 3 different timers in this room, making sure I'm counting time correctly. That's about it. But if you did come in a little bit late, you do not need any equipment. Everything here is body weight. Like I was saying earlier, if you have weights at home or bands, which I'm sure a lot of you do at this point, you can grab those. No problem. So if you want to add weight into some of the movements, by all means do. If you have questions, just shout it out. I'm not particularly shy. You can just fire away, whatever works. So I think that's everything. I think that's all the housekeeping. I'm glad you guys are all here. Let me get my personal timer started, because for those of you that have Apple Watches or Fitbits, there's nothing worse than when you start your workout and you forgot to hit start on your timer. All right, so let's get started, folks. Like I said, we're going to do a little bit of everything. So I want to loosen your entire body up. So we're going head to toe here. So we're just going to start in place. We're going to do nice big neck circles here. Okay. Now I would prefer you to start matching my speed here. I don't want you to go into crazy fast neck circles to start, because a lot of us are pretty stiff here. Might be particularly crunchy. But that's okay. That's why we don't want to do this fast. I'm going to switch directions. So I'm thinking chin to my chest, big circle. Should feel kind of nice, but likely kind of tight as well. All right, now we're going to do something similar. We're going to look over our shoulder. So I'm going to take my head. I'm going to look and turn like I'm trying to see someone behind me. Again, slow and steady. We're not trying to do the 360 head spin. Slow and steady. We'll do one more. Then we're going to go chin to chest, head up. Chin to chest, head up. Careful when you're bringing your head back like this. I don't need you to overdo that. Slow and steady. And one more time. All right, we're going to work into the shoulders. So what we're going to do, I just call them slappy arms. We're going to bring our arms across our chest here. And this one, I want you to kind of pretend that someone just kind of turned the lights off and your arms are just kind of jelly, right? And we're bringing them across the chest, kind of giving herself a big hug. I guess it's more like a slap, but whatever works. So this is really loosening up the shoulders, the triceps, the wrists, the forearms, and then the chest, of course. I love these. I do these before any kind of pressing workout. Something similar, loosey-goosey arms. We're just going to take it overhead and then down. All right, so from the side here. So you'll see there's no stiffness in my arm, right? I'm really just as relaxed as possible. And everybody's range of motion is going to be different here. I'm pretty darn tight in my shoulders, so mine probably doesn't look super awesome. So do what works for you and your body. All right, we're going to work into the back and into the core a little bit. So we're going to bring our feet together. Hands on the hips is optional, and we're going to do big hip circles. Now, similar to what we did with our neck rolls, I do not, me personally, I don't like to do this one super fast, especially now at the beginning of the workout. Again, we're thinking big hip circles. And again, don't be surprised if you hear a little popping and cracking going on in your back. Switch directions. Again, if you're coming a little bit late, if you have a question, just shout it out. My eyes definitely cannot see the screen from here. I'll get to it if you want to chat something, but if you have a pressing question, fire away. All right, let's work into the legs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take one leg forward. So I'm putting my right leg forward. You'll notice my toe is up, my heel is on the ground. I'm going to reach down like I'm scooping something off the ground. Reach, scoop, switch sides. Reach, toe is up, scoop. Now, when I'm lowering like this, you should feel a nice stretch going on in the hamstrings. Okay? If we have any athletes in here, you definitely did this in your sports practice, warming up, especially soccer players. Awesome warm up for the hamstrings. Gets the trunk moving a little bit as we're lowering to the ground. One more on each leg. Remember, go as low as you comfortably can. All right, next up, what we're going to do from here is we're going to raise our leg. I'm bad at this in slow motion. Raise your knee, and then you're going to open and come back down. All right, so we're doing a little abduction. That just means moving away from the midline. So my leg is going to raise. I open at my hip, and I come back down. So if you have tight hips, this is going to be a tough one for you. So you're going to raise the knee, open at the hip, come back down. You'll notice I put my hands either on my side or on the front of my hips. It's just a reminder to not do what I just did and fall over the place, right? So we raise, open, come back down. Whatever pace you want. If you're not super tight and you want to do this a little bit quicker, go for it. It's your call. Make sure you're breathing. A couple more on each leg. And we'll do one more on the right here. Boom. All right, I say we get started. If you have water around your house, take a quick swig if you need it. I've got a towel. Again, I've got a mat because I am on hardwood, but all this is designed to be body weight exercises. So even though I just said I'm going to use my mat, I'm actually not going to use my mat for this exercise. This is called a walkout. Fantastic total body exercise. Great for all levels. We're going to do this slow and controlled here, okay? So I'm going to show you from the side. We're going to drop nice and easy to a squat. Now, from here on our squat, I'm going to take my hands to the ground. I'm going to walk forward into high plank. For more advanced people, if you want to do a push-up here, by all means do. You're going to push back, weight on your heels, stand back up. Okay? So we're going to do, again, everything here is going to be 45 seconds. Do I expect you to get 1 million of these in the 45 seconds? No. I think 3 to 8 is probably realistic. Okay? Walkouts, 45 seconds. Let's go. Coming down slow, hands to the floor. Push-up is optional. I'll just do it. Because again, I'm going to be the only one on YouTube. I got to look cool. Weight on your heels, stand back up. Deep squat, slow and controlled. Hands to the floor, walk to that high plank. Push up if you want to. Push it back. Weight on your heels. Stand up tall. Let's keep moving. Make sure you're breathing throughout. We'll notice I'm really moving slow here. And we'll make this our last one with the time. Walk it forward. Push up. Push it back. Stand back up and relax. Those are sneaky, aren't they? You're like, that looks so easy. And then you do it for 45 seconds. You're like, wait a second. That was harder than I expected. So that really should have woken up your entire body if the warm-up already didn't. It really is working everything. Such a great exercise. Hey, speaking of great exercises, we're going to go into jumping jack. So I would say, yeah, from everything I've got down, this is probably the most high impact movement of the day. So if you have knee, ankle, or foot issues, definitely not wrist. If you want to just step your feet out here, side to side, instead of the actual hop on a jumping jack, do that, okay? But if you're feeling up to it, jumping jacks for 45 seconds, let's go. Now, normally, when we have a room full of people, I kind of make everyone clap. And it makes a beautiful sound. But then when I do it, when I'm recording, it's just kind of awkward. I'm not going to do that. So again, find the jumping jack style that works for you. When I say higher impact, I don't know. It just means that I'm getting a little extra pressure than is really needed for my joints. Right? So basically, anytime you're hopping, it's typically a higher impact movement. 15 seconds. Breathe. Time. Woo, and relax. Walk it out. Take some deep breaths. I shouldn't have worn a gray shirt. It's not going to be gray for very long. Alrighty, next up, we're going to jump back to our squat. So first thing we did was our walkouts, and then what did it start with? It started with a squat, right? We're going to really focus on the squat here and slow it down. Okay, so I want you to think on our squat, we're going to be lowering in 3, 2, 1, hold for 1, 2, back up. So we're thinking range of motion, and then nice slow tempo, okay? Now, for your squat, your foot placement, it's up to you. Everybody is different. I've had a lot of injuries. I've had a number of knee issues. So for me, I like to point my feet out slightly, whereas some people are really comfortable squatting, hip, shoulder width, feet straight. I can't get very low doing that. So if you're listening to me say that and you're like, hey, that sounds like me, turn your feet out more. It helps a lot, okay? I'll show you from the side. All righty, bodyweight squat. Do whatever you want with your hands. I tend to just put mine up. 45 seconds, let's go. Down in 3, 2, 1, hold for 1, 2, back up. Let's go. Trying to get as low as you comfortably can. So if you're someone, you can't get super low in that squat, that's okay. I don't need you to get your butt below your knees every time. If you really struggle with squats, grab a bench or a chair and just sit in the chair and stand back up. So squats, obviously, one of the best, most functional movements we could possibly do. It's an extremely important exercise. So much core strength involved, but primarily we're thinking about the glutes, the quads, the front of the leg, and then the hamstrings. 15 seconds left. And we'll get one more. And time, relax. Shake your legs out, walk around if you need to. I tend to walk, kind of like slap my muscles when I'm done with a set. Maybe that's weird. I can't be the only one that does that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Next up, we're going to stick to legs. We're going to go into a lunge now. So lunges, primarily we're thinking about the quads, the front of the legs, but there's certainly some hamstring work, the back of the legs, and then some glute work going on. Okay, so there are a million lunge variations. I'm just going to have us do ours in place. So a lunge, think of it in 3 steps. I'll turn this way. Step 1, Step 2, drop the back leg. Now you'll see, you'll notice I'm on my back toe, right? I'm not flat. I can't lunge from here. I'm gonna, I don't know, it doesn't work. So stay on the back toe, drop straight down, lift back up, into place. So again, we're gonna switch sides. Step 1 is step. Step 2, drop the back leg. Step 3, back into place. Okay? One thing I want you to be mindful of is your front knee. When I'm doing this lunge, I am not letting my knee cross my toe line here. I'm trying to keep my heel flat, dropping straight down. Okay? So alternating lunges in place, 45 seconds. Let's go. Big step, drop, step back, switch legs. Again, go at a speed that works for you. If you want to do this a little faster, go for it. I feel like I just did that leg. Cool. Drop, press, step, drop, press. Nice and easy. Make sure you're breathing, keeping the core nice and tight. Drop, press, we got 10 seconds. And let's get one more on each leg, because it's gonna drive me crazy if we don't. Step, drop, press, and relax. All right, next up, we are gonna go to our mat, for real this time. All right, so we're gonna do Superperson, which is an amazing strengthener for the back side of your body, okay? The posterior chain. So we're thinking upper back, mid back, lower back, booty, hamstrings, okay? My flexibility on these is terrible. I'll be the first to admit that. So mine don't look good. So hopefully yours look better. But for those of you that have back pain, this is an extremely important exercise to do. However, there is a difference between feeling the burn in your lower back, which you will, and then potential back pain. So I trust you that you know the difference between the burning of this and then pain. If it's pain, stop. If it's burning, try to work with it. Okay, so got my towel down because I'm going face first into the mat. I will do my best to talk throughout this, but it's probably not going to go well. I'm going to bring my arms out to my side here. I'm going to lift everything off the floor. So legs, my toes are pointed, my arms are pressing up towards the roof, and my chin and head is off the mat. So again, my entire backside of my body is doing the work. Okay, 45 seconds. Here we go. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. Come back down. Lift, hold. Again, my toes are pointed as much as possible. I'm as long as possible. I'm really trying to squeeze my shoulders together, trying to squeeze my booty, push my legs up towards the sky. Breathe as regularly as possible here. I know this can be restrictive on your breath. And let's get one more with the time. Lift, hold, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Oh. Wow. Good job, everybody. We're going to work into a couple more core things since we're already on the mat. So we're going to go right into a low plank. All right. So low plank, down on the elbows. Plank, kind of like a squat. It's just one of the best exercises you can do. Again, if you're someone that suffers from back pain, strengthening your core, doing something like a plank is going to be really integral for you. So one thing before we start that I want to talk about is activating your core. That gets thrown around a lot, and sometimes people are like, I don't know what that means. What are you talking about? So I want you to pretend that you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, ah, and you've got to pull in your stomach. So it's not like I'm pressing out on my stomach, like if someone's going to punch me. It's the opposite. I want you to pull in. So you're trying to think belly button, drawing to your spine. Okay? That's what I want you to think about, and I want you to try to maintain that the entire time. So see, I'm kind of talking like this now. It's because I'm actively drawing in my stomach. I'm not pressing out and flexing. I'm pulling in. Okay? Anyway, I'll stop. Low plank, down on the elbows. I'm going to drive my hands through the floor. I'm going to walk my legs back, and I'm going to hold this position here. If you're struggling, drop to your knees. Okay? 45-second low plank. Let's go. Hold it. Happy thoughts. So this whole time, we're doing that drawing in maneuver I just showed you with the belly button, hence why I'm talking like this, because I'm pulling in the belly. Driving my forearms, elbows, and wrists through the floor. Don't be surprised if you're shaking a little bit in here. That's okay. If you're struggling, drop to your knees. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Happy thoughts. And time. Relax. Nice job. We're going to do a side plank next. Now, for the side planks, we'll stick to 30 seconds on each side. The extra 15 seconds makes a pretty big difference if you've never done a side plank. So, as the name implies, you're going to lay on your side. Now, from this position, a lot of people love to just put all their weight on their elbow. That does not feel good. So, yes, there's weight on your elbow, but it's also driving through your forearm and then through your wrist. Look down your body, make a nice straight line, lift your hips up and hold. If this is too challenging, hand to the floor. If you need another little boost there, drop to your knees. Okay, so find what works for you. 30 seconds each side, starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And you can do whatever you want with this top hand. Happy thoughts. Try not to make eye contact the entire time. Don't be surprised if you're feeling this a lot in your shoulders as well. If you've never done a side plank, you're going to feel it a lot in your shoulders, even more so than in your obliques. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. So again, I can't stress that enough. If you're not used to side planks, you're gonna be like, that was a shoulder workout, not an oblique workout. Yes, your shoulders are active. They're probably just not used to carrying your body weight in that position. So same thing, drive the weight through the elbow, forearm, wrist, nice straight line, hand to the floor if you need the boost, raise up and hold. So I'm on my left side, so primarily I'm working the left side of my obliques, the side of my body. Woo! Much easier on this side for me. Don't be surprised if one side is dramatically easier or harder than the other. Try to make note of that. 10 seconds. Three, two, one, time. Let's come to our feet, take a little water break. Mostly because I need water. If you have any questions during this little break, please fire away. Let's check chat, see if I missed anything. Dear Jeff, you're the worst. I'm just kidding. Someone mentioned if they can get a link to this recording. You're going to want to chat with Lauren about that. I'm 99.9% sure that would be the case. In fact, I think it's going on the YouTube channel. So, anywho, we're going to jump back to the mat. These are called bird dogs. Kind of a weird name, but great exercise. Again, much like the Superperson that we did, we're really thinking about the backside of the body, and there's going to be a lot of core engagement in this one. So if you've ever gone to physical therapy, I can pretty much guarantee you've done a bird dog in your life. So what we're going to do is we're going to be on all fours here, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. From this position, it's opposite. So I'm going to raise my right leg. I got my toe pointed. As you see, I'm not flexed, pointed. And then I'm going to reach my left arm forward. I'm going to hold this for, we'll say 5 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to switch. So again, I'm thinking about lengthening here. I'm reaching as far as I can. I'm kicking my leg back as far as I can. And I've got that same belly pull I had before. Okay? No, those didn't count towards the 45 seconds. 45 seconds starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So again, I'm just going to hold for 5. If you're loving this and you want to do 22.5 or whatever of each, go for it. Do what works for you. Math is hard. Switch it up. These should feel pretty nice. We're so forward rounded all the time that really hitting the backside of our body feels great. Kind of just pulls us into that more straight position again. Switch it up. We'll do one more on each side. Remember to be as long as possible. And last one here. Woo! And relax. I love those. All right, next up. I mean, I'd say probably one of the harder things we're doing. We're gonna do push-ups. Push-ups in general are just hard. And also 45 seconds is a tough period of time, but with the modifications, I think you should be fine. So, push-ups. I love push-ups. What are we working? Chest, shoulders, triceps. It's really what we're working anytime we're pressing something. So a traditional push-up here, hand placement does make a big difference. If I go close grip, my triceps are going to be firing the most. If I go super wide grip, I'm really working deep into my shoulders. So for now, let's go somewhere in the middle. I said somewhere twice. Somewhere in the middle. So a little bit wider than shoulder width is where I'm going to be at. Now I'm going to ideally get my chest to the floor. Exhale, press up. Okay. Now, if you're like, I can't do that for 45 seconds, drop to your knees. Okay. Now, a push-up from your knees. Here's the biggest mistake I see when people do push-ups from their knees. You're like, wait, I do that. Is he watching me? No, it's just a very common mistake. So when you are on push-ups on your knees, notice how I'm tilting my hips forward. Everything's in a straight line and moves together. right? So you see how when I lower, my hips move with my chest. As with the first time, my butt was up here. I'm doing one of these. Okay, I don't want you to do that. All right, push-ups, 45 seconds. Happy thoughts. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Now you'll notice with mine, I am trying to go slow and controlled. That is the theme really here today. Still challenging. It's still full range of motion. It's just a little slower. My elbow cracked. Hopefully you couldn't hear that. Fight those shakes that are going to happen. You'll notice I exhale when I press up. Helps very much. Got about 10 seconds. Let's get 3 more in. 2 more. And last one. Woo! Ow. And relax. I'm going to grab my mat. And we're going to go into some more traditional core work. Let me make sure my mat is visible. Looks good. So we are going to be on our back for these exercises. I say we just do them all back to back since we're going to be on our back. So go ahead and lay down. This is nice. Just lay here. Think about something else. We're going to start pretty basic. So we're going to go into a traditional crunch. So we're going to go hands behind the head. So we're really working here the upper part of our stomach, okay? So I want you to think belly button and up. Just below your chest, just above your belly button, okay? Typically stronger with most people, okay? It's the upper part of our abs. However, I still want you to focus on that pull in of the belly button the whole time, okay? It is very challenging. You'll probably be struggling here to pull your belly button in and then also lift at the same time, okay? Keep practicing. It is very challenging at first to do those things together, but you'll get there, okay? So regular old crunch, hands behind the head, elbows are wide, chin is off the chest. I'm only lifting a few inches off the ground. I'm not coming all the way up. And then I come back down, okay? 45-second crunches, let's go. I have an itch on my face. I got it, okay. Lift, hold. Do not be surprised if you're shaking a little bit at the top. Again, chin off your chest. Elbows are wide. I don't want you to crank on your neck here. Big squeeze at the top. Down slow. I do want you to try to match my speed here. No, the camera's not in slow motion. This is how slow I'm moving here. And we'll get one more here with the time. We went a little over. That's okay. And relax. So you really should be feeling that burn in the upper part of your stomach here. Okay? Now, we're going to think lower. So now we're thinking belly button and below. So just above your groin, just below your belly button. Now, these deeper core muscles, we don't need to use fancy words, are typically a lot weaker in people. Weakness in these muscles, these deep core muscles, is one of the main reasons people get lower back issues. So do not be surprised if this is a little bit harder for you, okay? Now, does that mean it's so hard you shouldn't do it again? No, right? You need to strengthen these muscles. Okay, so we're gonna go hands down by our booty. We're gonna go into reverse crunch. Now, I highly suggest when you do this to bring your head down. I like to bring my head up because it makes it a little harder. So you do not need to do what I'm doing. In fact, this might cause you some neck pain. So again, if you want to bring head down, please do, okay? So I'm pushing my knees together. I'm pulling in. I'm going to drop nice and easy to the ground, okay? Couple things. I'm not swinging backwards. As soon as I cross my belly button line, I'm coming back down. Knees in, lower, controlled. I don't want to bounce off the floor. Okay, reverse crunch, 45 seconds. Let's go. You're like, for such a small movement, it sure is a lot of things going on. I know. That's what's cool about it. So again, we're really thinking the lower part of the stomach, those deep core muscles. Again, pressing the knees together. And my goal here is I really want you to feel the difference between those ab muscles. There's a big difference between those rectus abdominis muscles and then the transverse, those deep muscles. I'll stop saying deep muscles. Woo! Let's get a couple more in. And last one here, folks. And relax. I love those. Next, we're going to sit on our bum. And we're going to do what's called a Russian twist. And definitely working the upper abs, lower abs, but primarily this is working the obliques, sides. There are other names for them, but we shall not name those. Good times. So from this position here, I'm not just sitting here. I'm going to drive my feet into the floor. So I've got my heels into the ground. If you've got the flexibility to keep your feet flat, I certainly can't do that. Go for it. But I'm going to sit back a few inches here. I'm going to clasp my hands like this. Okay. Woo. Elbows are nice and straight. I'm going to sit up tall. I'm going to rotate, touch the floor if I can, back to center, dip down, touch the floor, back to center. If you can't touch the floor, it's not the end of the world. Okay. If you can only turn to here, that's fine. You're still working your obliques. Okay. Russian twist. Let's go. Center. Turn. Tap. Center. Again, I'm doing this super slow. And again, don't be surprised if your abs are still killing you from the last two. Turn. Tap. Center. Try to keep the elbows wide, nice and straight. I have to remind myself all the time when I'm doing these things. Almost there. We'll get one more in. Oh, and relax. Next up, we're on our back again. So we're going to do a little bit harder versions of similar muscle groups. So we're going to do a sit-up, yay, and then we're going to do a leg lift. Okay, so I got a couple options for you. So a full-on sit-up is hard. It's hard to get all the way up here without a massive swing. So a couple options. If you need to swing, fine, no problem. If you're like, Jeff, there's no way in hell that I can get all the way up there, I want you to go into a crunch twist. Okay? So if you can't get up to the top here, no big deal. You're going to crunch and twist. Okay? We ready? Yes, we're ready. 45 seconds, sit-ups. Here we go. I'll probably do about 20 seconds of each to show you. Trying to keep the belly pulled in. I am trying to fight it a little bit on the way down. I'll do one more and then I'll go into that crunch twist if that's what you're doing. Crunch twist. Oh, it burns. If you were doing sit-ups and you're still doing those, keep going. 10 seconds left. We'll get one more on each side. Woo! Like I mentioned, when I'm burning, I do the slappy thing. All right, and next up, again, we're thinking into the lower abs again. belly button, and below we're going to do a leg lift. Now, if you have back issues, you're going to want to be very careful with this one, okay? So one, if you have back issues, you're going to put your hands under your tailbone, okay? And when you do this, the full leg lift is going to look like this. The legs are straight as possible, and repeat. Okay, couple things. I'm trying not to swing. If you're doing that, your hands are under your tailbone, you're like, that still is not feeling good on my back, bend your knees. So if that's not feeling great, bend your knees and come in here. Okay, so you got your options. 45 seconds, let's go. Again, head down is what I would recommend. If you want to make it harder, you can bring your head up. Do what works for you. Whatever speed you want. Again, I tend to take mine just a little bit slower, a little more controlled. 15 seconds. Get one more in. Woo! Oh, it burns. All right, come on up to your feet. I got a couple more exercises here. And yes, we will stretch. Fear not. I'm gonna grab a swig of water first. So this next one, it's called a ice skater. Now I'm going to show you a couple options here. The traditional one, again, like the jumping jack, is on the higher impact level. So a traditional ice skater is going to look like this. I'm going to hop from one leg, woo, to the other. Here. Couple things. If you can, you're going to ideally hover the leg. So you're hopping without touching. If you're like, no way, tap the foot. If that's still not feeling great, just step and cross. Okay, so you got 3 options there. Find what works for you. 45 seconds. Good old ice skaters starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. The lower you are and the farther you jump, the harder this is going to be. So again, find what works for you. See why they're called ice skaters, right? I never ice skated, but I'm assuming it looks like this. Good, keep working, folks. 15 seconds. One more time. Oh. We're gonna do one more exercise. And we're gonna be either on the floor, or if you've got a bench, a chair, a table around you, you can do your dips there. So dip, we're thinking triceps, back of the arm, shoulders, chest. So I'm just gonna do these on the floor because I'm assuming that's what most of you guys have. So it's not gonna look like a huge range of motion because it isn't, but it's an awesome pressing exercise. So you're really gonna feel this most in your triceps, okay? So the movement's gonna look like this. We're gonna lift our booty up. We're gonna bend at the elbows and press up. So again, it doesn't look like much, right? But you're gonna feel it. One last thing, your wrist placement is up to you. Some people like to have their wrists completely turned back like this. Some people like to do it halfway or all the way forward, okay? Find a comfortable position and continue with that, okay? Body weight dips, last thing today, 45 seconds. Let's go. Burning already. I know it doesn't look like much. So I really what I want you to think about here is your triceps, the back of the arm. 20 seconds. Oh, this burns. Amazing, right? Such a short range of motion, you're getting that much burn. Let's get 2 more. Last one. Woo. Ah. Ow. Time. Let's stretch, everybody. So come on up to your feet. Again, we'll go head to toe. We'll stretch everything out. First one, we'll jump back to our neck. I almost said necks. To your neck. What you're going to do is you're going to take one hand, top of your head. Okay? What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to pull my ear down towards my shoulder. And you're going to feel really nice stretch throughout your traps here and the side of your neck, and hold. So ideally, stretches you're holding between 30 seconds and a minute. So if you're like, I love these, feel free to come back and do them a little longer. But for the sake of the workout, we'll do 30 seconds. Take some deep breaths. And relax. So again, I'm grabbing with my left hand. I'm going to really sink my shoulder down. And I'm sinking ear to my shoulder, not shoulder to my ear. And hold. Again, don't be surprised if one side is a lot more tight than the other. Like for me on this side, it feels totally fine. The other side is challenging. Take those deep, slow breaths. And relax. That's nice. Okay, next up, we are going to think triceps because we definitely need to stretch those after the pressing we did. So I'm going to reach my arm across my body. I'm going to get a nice bite on my arm behind my elbow. So again, reach, grab. And now from here, I am going to actively pull to my right. Okay. I'm not just here thinking about other things. I'm really pulling. You'll feel an awesome stretch in your shoulders and triceps here. If you're like me and can't sit still, I like to walk around while I do these things. Take some deep breaths. Relax. Other side, reach across, grab behind the elbow, pull. If you have any questions, again, just feel free to shout them out. You can also type in the chat and I'll get back to you. I'll hang around for a couple minutes afterwards. And relax. Let's come down to the floor. So I'm going to grab my mat again. So we're going to go on to our knees here. My on camera, yes. All right. And from here, we're going to go into child's pose. So from here, we're going to sink our booty towards our heels. And I'm going to just gradually sink my head towards the ground, and I'm going to reach my arms forward. So you'll notice I'm kind of like walking my arms forward, and then I just sink, and we're going to hold for 30. Definitely can't talk through this one. Come forward slowly. I love that stretch. We're going to take our right leg forward. Whoop, we're going to stretch our hip flexors out. Okay. From this position, I'm going to try to tilt my tailbone forward, and I'm going to drive my body forward. And I should feel a big stretch on the left side. I've got my right leg forward. On the left side of my hip flexors. But the key on this one is that pelvic tilt. It's going to activate the hip flexors. Should feel pretty nice. Push back, switch sides. So again, I got left leg forward. Tilt the pelvis forward. Okay. I know that's not something you can really see, but so I want you to think tailbone, whoop, tilt it forward. Now drive your weight forward. I should be feeling this on the right side of my hip flexor, and we hold. And this is one way if you want to gradually try to inch forward more and more, that's fine, just be careful. And then we'll do 2 more stretches after this, and we'll call it a day. All right, so we're going to lay on our back here. We're going to stretch out our piriformis here. They're like, well, who? My what? So the piriformis, this tight little muscle, side of your booty, very easily irritated. Very common for sciatica problems, lower back problems. It's very important to stretch it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our right leg over our left leg. You know, this is not ideal with the camera. So right leg over left leg. I'm going to reach through under my knee and grab that little space that I created. I'm going to sit back. Okay, so one more time. Right leg over left leg. Reach through, grab that space I created just behind my knee, and now I sit back. Be careful here. If you can't get your neck to the ground comfortably, you can sit up on this one. That's fine. But hold it. This one can be particularly intense. And bring the leg down, unwind. Left leg over the right leg. Reach through that space you created. Oh, way worse. Sit back. Oh, so much worse on this side. Woo! So if you do have those imbalances there where one side is just way weaker or you feel it more, just try to make a mental note of those things. They can certainly be corrected. I mean, it takes time, and it is normal to have those imbalances, but try to make note of it. Woo! And relax, leg down, unwind. Last stretch we're going to do, we're going to straighten our right leg. I'm going to pull my left knee in. I got my left hand on the ground, and I'm going to let my legs fall. So I'm turning towards my right, towards you all, and I'm going to look, I'm just looking at the camera because it's there, the opposite way. So this is stretching the lower back, as you can probably tell and feel. I'm doing my best to keep my shoulders on the ground throughout this one. I'm not flying all over the place. I really want to isolate my lower back here. Again, don't be surprised if you're feeling a little poppy, cracky in this one. Back to center. Straighten the left leg, pull the right knee in. From here, leg comes over. I look the opposite way. Nice and slow. Again, a lot tighter here for me, so I'm not moving as much. And with my hand placement, if you want to intensify it, you pull down on the knee a little bit more. But again, I don't want to see your shoulder fly off the ground, right? Come back to center. Come on up. Slowly. That's it, folks.